What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about T2. Friday was pretty epic, so I want to go over some of the data points, what shorts are doing, and just some things to kind of watch for this upcoming week. Before I get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So based on Friday, it did go up 35.67%. Huge amount of volume. So 136.59 million shares being traded. 67 is the average. And when it comes down to it, I did a video, I think it was Thursday morning or afternoon, but I did say that this was coming, especially based on the technicals. So I think one of the biggest driving factors for T2 right now is its technicals, and for a small cap company, that's pretty epic. And of course, on Friday there was some pretty good news that did come out. So it just says T2 reports granting of inducement award. So it's just more so for newer employees, good retention kind of situation going on there. I think they're bringing it up ultimately because it does equate to a small amount of dilution, extremely small in fact, but it's giving these employees the, I guess, right to purchase up to around 5,700 shares. That's going to be locked in for, I believe, if I remember correctly, 4 years. So yeah, 4-year period, and they're basically going to get around 25% each year. So pretty good stuff in my opinion, and I'm a big fan of employee retention. That's how you keep good employees for the long term. And plus, on a side note, a lot of people are saying that T2 is going to go belly up. Technically, by them doing this and the board approving this, like, clearly bankruptcy is not in the realm of conversations happening right now. So that's more of an important thing to kind of keep in mind. And similarly, like I mentioned, this upcoming week is going to be very big because on October the 12th is going to be their earnings. And this one, probably out of anything, is going to be their most important earnings because they're essentially going to be talking on their future guidance. Earnings per share and their revenue, it's going to be whatever. It is what it is. Analysts seem to be fairly optimistic on it, but I've already touched on this in my last video, I do believe. But regardless, it's the future guidance. What are they going to be doing? What is their plan for the future? How are they going to market it? And more specifically, what are they going to do about the whole NASDAQ delisting? Because technically, they have to act fairly soon before the November 20th, if I remember correctly, deadline. So they do have to be over that $1 mark between 10 and 20 consecutive business days in order for them to stay compliant with the NASDAQ. If not, then they would have to enact a reverse stock split. So that's something that you need to keep in mind. I'll go over some of the technicals, but first and foremost, I'll touch on shorts and what they are doing and most likely what they will do this upcoming week. So currently short score is 76.37, utilization is 88.98%, and the shorts on loan right now, there's about 45.16 million shares on loan. That's pretty significant, especially considering 37.24 million shares overall are being shorted. 11.24% of the free float is being shorted, and on Friday shorts returned 795,000. So I think, like I've said in the past, shorts with T2 have just overextended themselves. And it's very apparent because even based on the interactive broker short availability, going into next week, there is 0 shares available to be shorted. So potentially, especially with their earnings right around the corner, I do feel that this is a very good opportunity for T2 to continue its positive momentum, especially based on the technicals, to higher highs. But that's just my own interpretation. I'm not a financial advisor. Cost to borrow average is currently 30.66%. The minimum is 28.2, max being 32.31. So once again, there's this behind the scenes that is fairly positive. And then once again, like I said, the technicals are looking very much primed and ready. A lot of good volume, so definitely that's a win-win. On the actual chart, it is attempting to at least transition from the lower to the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band. So it is on a very heavy resistance right now that I'll touch on in a second, but it did successfully get above the 100-day moving average on Friday. So definitely moving in the right direction. And with it currently at 26.28, it is between this R1 and this R2. So as it stands right now, 24.22 is going to be that next strong support, and 26.51, which kind of did close and it bounced off of. So kind of had a high of around 26.48 on Friday. So it bounced off of this R2 briefly. But I do feel with this positive momentum and what they just recently came out with the earnings right around the corner, it can easily get above this and potentially test this 30. The last time I did talk on as far as them just announcing their earnings, they were kind of within this range, so around 19 cents. After hours, it broke past this 20 cent mark, so I did say that it's going to easily go up to around 24 cents. But I didn't anticipate it to go up 35%. That's pretty epic, but still, no matter what, technicals are looking fairly good. Shorts are overextended and have very little ammunition. So next week is going to be a pretty interesting week. But over and above that though, just looking as far as some things to know for this upcoming week, actually right here. So on Wednesday, there is PPI, and also on Thursday there is CPI, so the dreaded CPI. And then on Friday, there isn't any real economic data coming out, but more so a lot of banks unveiling their earnings. So those three coupled with their earnings on Thursday, this stock is definitely one of those ones that you need to really add to your watch list or really watch very, very closely. So with all that, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Give yourself a shout out if you did buy over the last several days, because it has been very, very volatile, but give yourself a shout out if you have been buying, selling, holding, what you've been doing with T2. Don't forget to also hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that, and take advantage of these promos like I've been sharing with you. It's only been extended up until October the 20th. So sign up for an account with Moo and throw $100 at it and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So that's one of the best deals on the market. So take advantage of that. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, I appreciate all of you watching, and let's all make a lot of money on T2.